Today we're going to be reviewing all of my trades for this week, starting with Monday all the way to Friday. I'm going to show you guys exactly why I took each trade, how I ended up on the week, and just everything behind my thought process on these trades and how I manage these trades, okay? So let's start off with Monday, the first trade on Monday. So starting on Monday here, we took two trades, ended up taking two losses on this day. I only took this on options, not on futures. I don't really know why. I just felt like not taking futures this day for some reason. But yeah, we were near all-time highs. I saw market open manipulated higher, came down below, and we didn't continue lower. Then we got a clean IFEG here. I took my entry off that IFEG. I know I should have waited for this sweep down here. But yeah, that's probably why it was a loss. It was a premature entry. I like the IFEG there though, and we were targeting all-time highs because why would you short at all-time highs? We always keep going higher. So yeah, first trade right here, IFEG trade, took a small loss here. Then I took a second trade off this fair value gap here on the 1 minute, which we kept rejecting off prior. And I saw we got a strong push down with momentum, got a strong IFEG here. I took my entry, came down. I hadn't seen this SMT. Meanwhile, I was in the trade, but we did get an SMT here where NQ took out these lows, ES did not. And we rejected off there and we just ripped higher. So there was two losses for the day. And I'll show you guys right now what those two losses look like. Let me go into my options account here real quick. So on Monday, I took a loss of 400. I don't know if you guys can see that. $475 because I took two trades. But yeah, that's just part of the game. Two losses there on Monday. Now let's go ahead and move on to trade two, or second trading day. But yeah, just as a recap for Monday, I should not have taken the second trade. And yeah, not the best executions on here, not the best setups. So yeah, that's on me. Now let's move on to Tuesday. Here we have Tuesday's trade. Tuesday's trade was an absolute banger. At market open right here, you see we have a manipulation and an SMT at this level at 930. We came down, swept Asia lows, got an IFEG here with a strong push after rejecting off this level for so long. Once we got a strong push up and a closure above this level of this fair value gap, I took my entry there, placed my stops at the bottom of the body of the candle that we inverted right here, took my entry, took most trims here at this high right here, which is my final TP, and I left some runners going to see if we could go higher to all-time highs again. Then I ended up trailing my stops back up at this level, which we got stopped out for. Total trade of $78, and I mean 78 points, not dollars. And I'll show you guys how much we made on options. Options here, we caught 48%, and we got $730 there on the day, or $703 on the day there. Pretty nice trade. And yeah, pretty banger trade there. That's all we took on Tuesday. Now let's go ahead and move to Wednesday. Wednesday's trade, I did size down a little bit just because we were at all-time highs. And, you know, once you're at all-time highs, there's not really any targets for you to target. So this is the trade that I took. As soon as we went to all-time highs, I saw we made a fair value gap here. And I wanted to see us really respect this fair value gap to continue going higher, ripping through all-time highs. So we came down to this fair value gap. We tapped it, rejected it. Once we rejected it, I took my entry there, and I just let the trade run. We got 85 points here. And we also had an SMT down here. ES took these lows, NQ didn't, pushed us up higher, tapped into this fair value gap, rejected off it pretty nicely. We also had engulfed this level here. Shows me strong move of buyers in the zone. So I took my entry there, wrote it up, trimmed some contracts right here, then trimmed some more contracts right here, and then I trailed my stops right here. The trade ended up being an 85-point trade. And on options, let me show you guys what we made on that day. This is for Wednesday. We made a very small amount on Wednesday just because I sized down because of being all-time highs and not really having a target. So on Wednesday, we made $181 on this trade here. Yeah, 32% on options with very small sizing, still a dub, $181 on that day. And yeah, pretty much banger trade. Pretty simple, all-time highs. We want to see a continuation at all-time highs, respect this fair value gap, plus an SMT, respecting prior confluences down here. And really just trailing your stops as we moved higher as we had no targets. But yeah, for Wednesday, nice W on Wednesday. Now let's go ahead and move on to Thursday. Here we have Thursday. Thursday's trade was an absolute banger trade. So starting off with the day, we had market open. We came lower, took out these lows. I originally wanted us to come take out these lows. For some reason, we didn't take them out, but that's all right. We had a strong imbalance here on the 1 minute, which was also a 5-minute fair value gap. I'll show you guys here real quick. This is a 5-minute as well. So I wanted to see the inversion on the 1 minute and the 5-minute with the strong push higher. So what I did is that I actually took my trade off. After we got the inversion on the 1 minute, I waited for us to come retrace, took my entry on the retracement there, and entered right there, targeting Asia highs here. On options, I actually waited for the 5 minute to close. As soon as the 5-minute closed, I took my entry on there on the 5-minute inversion, which was right here. And on futures, I took the entry down here. So a better entry on futures and options ended up being a 79-point trade here. Absolute banger. We took trim points at this high because in this market, we decide to fade our draws sometimes. So I just wanted to be safe, rather safe than sorry, Took some trims here. Then final trims at Asia highs. Absolute banger trade here. And yeah, fully out of the trade up there. And yeah, had some trims here. This day on Thursday, let me show you guys what we made on options real quick. On options on Thursday, since I had a worse entry on options that I waited for the 5 minutes to close, I took around $400. It was $397 here on options for Thursday. Pretty good trade as well. And yeah, banked pretty nicely there. Now, it's pretty simple. Again, we took out the lows. Nice sweep down here. Got an inversion on the 1, inversion on the 5. Took my entry with this clear draw on Asia highs and this swing high right here. So yeah, let's go look at Friday, the last day of the week. All right, this is probably my favorite trade of the week. Friday's trade here. So let's just start us off. We had a 1-hour fair value gap here that we did not completely inverse. And we had a 1-hour fair value gap here that we rejected off very strongly. Now, going into the 15-minute, we also had a 15-minute below and a 15-minute here that we did not inverse either. Then we go to the 5-minute. We also have a 5-minute gap here that we had not tapped before. We tapped into it, rejected off of it. Okay, now moving into the 1 minute here. On the 1 minute, you can see we tapped the 1 hour. We swept these lows. We got an IFEG here. I didn't like the size of this IFEG or this fair value gap right here. It was too small for me, so I didn't take the inversion there. Instead, I waited for this one to get inverted here. Once we inverted on this candle, I took my entry and placed my stops at the bottom of this body's candle. And bro, you can see here, we literally got edged by like 2 points. I was like, oh yeah, we're done here. We're done.
I got this! I got this! I got this!
And ended up getting a rejection off there, ripped higher. I want to see a engulfing candle here to actually take out these highs, which we did. We got the engulfing there. Then we trimmed right here, and we also trimmed right here. We left runners, and the runners trailed to this point right here again. So the trade was a 73-point trade, absolute banger. IFEG plus tap into a 1 hour plus a sweep of these lows. And yeah, we have a pretty clear draw here. I originally was going to target these highs, but as I saw that we slowed down originally here, I was like, okay, we might not get that push up. So I'm going to go ahead and trim and just trail my stop loss so I get trailed out in profits. The best thing about trading is actually managing your trade and understanding how price moves. For example, if right here, once we got the inversion, we just absolutely ripped off this level, I'd be more secure in having our TP up here. But since we took a little bit to actually move higher, I was like, okay, we might slow down in buying volume and not get the entire move. So I'm okay with securing some profits here, okay? So yeah, Friday, 73 points. We caught that there. And on options, I'm going to show you guys how much we made. So here it says $900 because I also entered a swing on Friday. On Friday. But the real P&L of that trade, I'll tell you guys right now, it was $447 there. And I'll show you guys the swing that I entered right after this. But yeah, we made $447 on this trade here. By the way, this is all on Nasdaq, which is also QQQ on options. And then, yeah, Nasdaq on futures. But absolute banger here, 73-point trade. And for the last trade, I'm going to show you guys my swing that we took, okay? So I'd been eyeing this swing for a little while now, for a couple days. And I even sent it in the Discord the day before. I was like, okay, guys, I'll put the screenshot up right here. I'll put the screenshot right here showing you guys that I told my Discord this is the move that I was waiting for. So Palantir is a technology stock, and we've been ripping pretty nicely. We made a fair value gap here on the daily time frame, and I was like, okay, if we see a move down, which we're due for a retrace to get some more liquidity and move higher and take out this low resistance liquidity on these candles up here to the upside, and we need a nice rejection off here, then I'll take an entry. So we're on the 1 day time frame, then we go to the 1 hour, zoom down. Let me go to the 15-minute, zoom in. And on the 15-minute, we sweep these lows here. Then we go to the 5-minute. And this is right after the tap into the daily. Just keep this in mind. After the tap into the daily, we also swept this 5-minute low. We created a 5-minute inversion. Clean rejection off the daily right there. Not much move into the daily. As soon as we tapped it, we rejected pretty strongly. I took my entry off the 5-minute inversion here. And I am currently still in the trade. For Friday, as soon as market closed, we were up around $500 on this trade. We have TP1 at these highs and final TP right here, TP2 at these highs. If the trade's very explosive, depending on how we open up on Monday, then maybe I'll let this run all the way up here. But yeah, I'm very big on managing my trade. If I see we slow down a lot in momentum, then I'll obviously start to trim or take out full position. But yeah, I'm really like this trade here just off the reaction to the daily gap that we had and targeting this as TP2 as the daily time frame. We can see this is our next swing high. So yeah, just off the 5 minute was our execution and very clean execution. We were in drawdown for maybe like 5 minutes here and then continue ripping up higher again. But yeah, that was my trade for Friday, which yeah, we ended up closing, or not closing, but the day ended and we were up $500 on this swing, which is why if you go on options, I'll show you guys right here. On options, that's why it says we were up $900 on the day. And the weekly P&L on options right here is $1,700. So we ended up the week $1,700 on options. And on futures, at the beginning of the week, I was trying to pass an account. I passed the account, ended up $627 in profit on a 50K. And I was trying to pass a 150K on starting on Tuesday, which we need $800 to pass. But overall, it was a pretty good week. Monday was the worst day of the week. We took not the best trades. We weren't in the right headspace either. And I woke up pretty late, honestly. But yeah, that was the recap of the entire trading week. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions, make sure to join the Discord. I'll leave the links down below so you guys can join. And I do live trade almost every single day for free in my Discord, where you can take the same trades that I do, both on futures and on options. And I want you guys to understand that it's very important to build your own capital. Yes, funded accounts are great, but it is also very important to build your own capital on the side. Like I trade futures with funded accounts and I trade options, obviously with my own capital, because I want to build both ends of things. If futures ever gets extinct, which I don't know if it will, but if it ever does, you're able to trade on your own with your own capital on options, which is very important to do. But yeah, that's the weekly recap of the trades this week. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, and join the Discord to trade live with me every single day. Peace out, boys.